Hello everyone. In today's video, I'll walk you through the steps for creating a simple sign-up sheet for instances when you know the exact number of items, donations, or volunteers that are needed for a specific function. I'm T. Hooper and welcome to my channel where we explore ways to manage your ministry's workflows. Whether you're hosting worship services, meetings, live streams, fundraisers, or just simply establishing standard operating procedures, I'm here to help you do it in a simple, inexpensive, and practical way, making room for your ministry to flow. In today's scenario, we'll create a donation request form for your ministry's community cookout. So now we could just create a sign up sheet and allow people to sign their name. We could create an electronic form, hoping that there's no duplication. And we could also just contact those who served in a particular capacity in the past to fill those slots. But either of those ways requires extra time and resources to collect and confirm information. Well, JotForm has an answer to this. JotForm will allow you to set up a form, collect the information, organize the information, and then you can simply rinse and repeat for future projects. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. First, you'll need to create a JotForm account if you don't already have one. Otherwise, just sign in and then we're ready to build our form. The first thing we'll do from the JotForm dashboard is click Create, Form, and we're going to scroll to the bottom and create a form from scratch. Now, by all means, you can create a template, but for today, we'll create one from scratch and we'll make it a classic form. Let's give our form a title, and we're just going to call it Community Cookout. And now we'll begin to add elements to our form. So the first thing that we're going to do is put in a paragraph. So I'm going to go to the add elements, and then I'm going to choose paragraph. And I already have a paragraph pre-made, so I'm just going to paste that in. And this paragraph is basically a list of everything that describes our community cookout for the person who's going to be making a donation. So we have the date and time, the menu items that are needed, and then we also have the volunteers that are needed. Okay, one correction. I'm going to remove the potato salad because that's a whole nother form. Potato salad requires an audition. You don't get to volunteer to bring potato salad unless we've already tasted it. Okay, I digress. Let's keep moving. Okay, let's keep moving. So once you have your paragraph, the next thing that we're going to do on this form is we're going to add the full name so the person can tell us who they are. And then the next thing we'll add are the email and the phone number. So I'll click email, I'll click phone number, and just know for each of these items or these elements, there is a properties box that allows you to refine a little further how you want to see the information displayed on the screen. After the phone number, we're going to enter in the main part of this donation request form. And JotForm has a widget called Quantity Gift Registries. Don't confuse it with gift registry because that's something totally different. But Quantity Gift Registry is unique because it allows you to count down after people select an item on your list. So I am going to click on Add Element and then go to Widgets, and I'm just going to type in Quantity. Gift registry. There we go. And if you notice on the right hand side, you'll see item 1 and 10 items that they're requesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste in a list that I've already created for you. Okay, paste. And one thing I know I'm going to do, because I said it before and I said it again, I want to make sure that potato salad is not on here. No potato salad. Okay, so the next thing I do after I copy and paste, I notice that my quantity gifts are updated on the form. So let's do this. We don't want to say how many hot dogs are available. We want to say how many hot dogs are needed. So under the counter label, I'm going to change available to needed. In this widget, we also have the ability to change a few more items. So for instance, quantity gift, not so appropriate. I'm going to come down on the right hand side and choose properties. And then I'm going to name this donations needed or donations requested. How about that? Donations requested. And then we see that it has updated our widget. I'm going to close the properties box, and way at the bottom beneath the properties box, JotForm automatically gives you a submit widget. I'm going to click in that general area and I'm going to choose properties, and in this properties box I can tell JotForm what I want that button to say. In most cases it'll say submit. But another thing I can do is if I click on the Advanced tab, I can allow the person submitting the form to reset the form. I can allow them to print. And another thing I like to do is allow them to save and continue later. Now, once this is done, I'll close this widget, close the properties box, and then let's preview the form. Let's see what we have. So on the preview form button, I have my community cookout label. I have the date and time, all of the items that are needed, the volunteers that are needed, and when all the donations are due. And then we have the actual form information. Very simple. I'm going to take off the preview, and then I'm going to go over to the settings tab. And on the settings tab, I'm going to confirm the name of my form. I'm going to make sure my form is enabled so that when I send it out to other people, they'll be able to use it. And then the other thing I want to do is under show more options, I want to make sure that save and continue later is enabled because we enabled it inside of the submit widget. So those things are all set. Now the last thing we have to do is determine how we're going to publish this form. So if I click on publish, you can either create a copy of this link and you can say maybe email it to people, you can post it someplace. And then the other thing here is you can choose QR code. If I click on QR code, I can download it, and then I can place the QR code on my bulletin board, on my website, on my social media site. I can also copy the code and I can place it in a web browser. There's a lot of different options you could do here. But for the purposes of now, we're not going to download the QR code or anything like that. I'm just going to hit the back button to return back to my form. If I hit settings, I can make this form private to only people that I send it to, and I can make it available to anyone or anyone in my company. Usually that's someone who has an email address with your same domain. But under the permissions, this is where you can confirm that you want people to be able to submit it and edit it later. So then you could close this, and now back on your JotForm dashboard, you can see that your form is available for use. You can see the number of submissions, you can edit the form, and under more, you can actually see your submissions. So if you click more and then click on submissions, you can see in like a spreadsheet format anyone who has submitted a form, and you'll see how many are the quantity that are still needed for your community cookout. And that, in a nutshell, is how you create a sign-up sheet for instances when you know the exact number of items or donations or volunteers that are needed for a specific function. If this video helped you, please like and share it with someone who might find it useful. When we share information, we don't just make our own life easier, we empower others to do the same. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos on how to make room for your ministry to flow. I'll see you next video.